Making decisions is a fundamental part of everyday life, from choosing what to eat for breakfast to making significant life choices. However, despite our best efforts, we all occasionally make bad decisions. Many of these decisions are influenced by psychological factors, some of which operate below the level of conscious awareness. Here are the top 10 psychological reasons why we sometimes make poor decisions. 1. Cognitive biases. Cognitive biases are mental shortcuts or patterns of thinking that can lead us to make irrational judgments. These biases help us process information quickly, but they often result in flawed decisions. Common biases include confirmation bias, seeking information that confirms our beliefs, and availability bias, relying on immediate examples that come to mind. These shortcuts can cause us to overlook important information or make decisions based on faulty reasoning. 2. Overconfidence. Overconfidence is when we believe we know more or are more capable than we actually are. This psychological tendency can lead to taking unnecessary risks, underestimating challenges, or dismissing advice. Overconfident decision makers may ignore the complexities of a situation, assuming they have all the answers, which can ultimately lead to poor outcomes. 3. Emotional decision making. When emotions drive our decision making, we are more likely to make impulsive or irrational choices. Strong emotions like anger, fear, or excitement can cloud judgment and lead to decisions that are not in our best interest. For example, someone who is angry may make an impulsive decision they later regret, or someone feeling anxious may avoid making a necessary decision altogether. 4. Anchoring. Anchoring occurs when we rely too heavily on the first piece of information we encounter, the anchor, when making decisions. Once an anchor is set, it can influence subsequent judgments, even if the anchor is irrelevant. For instance, if you're negotiating a price and the initial offer is high, you might end up agreeing to a deal that is still expensive, even if the final price is lower than the original but still above market value. 5. Social pressure. Social influence and the desire to fit in can lead us to make decisions based on what others are doing or expecting, rather than what's best for us. Peer pressure, groupthink, or the need for social approval can result in decisions that align with others' desires rather than our own needs or values. This is particularly evident in consumer behavior or in workplace environments where individuals go along with the group's ideas, even if they don't personally agree. 6. Loss aversion. Loss aversion refers to the psychological tendency to fear losses more than valuing gains. This can lead to poor decision-making, as we may hold on to losing investments, resist change, or avoid taking necessary risks. The fear of losing what we already have can prevent us from making decisions that could lead to greater long-term benefits, such as selling an underperforming stock or letting go of an unfulfilling job. 7. Short-term thinking. People often prioritize immediate rewards over long-term benefits, a phenomenon known as temporal discounting. This can lead to bad decisions, especially when it comes to health, finances, or relationships. For example, someone might choose to eat junk food or skip exercise for short-term enjoyment, even though they know it will harm their health in the future. 8. Inertia and habit. People tend to stick with what they know, even when it's not the best option. This is known as inertia, and it often results in decision fatigue, where individuals continue with familiar but suboptimal choices. The brain's preference for routine can make us resist change, even when it would be better to make a new choice or adopt a different strategy. 9. Lack of information or overload. Making decisions with incomplete information can lead to mistakes. Conversely, having too much information can be equally problematic. Information overload can overwhelm us and lead to analysis paralysis, where we become unable to make any decision at all. Striking the right balance of information is key to making sound decisions. 10. The sunk cost fallacy. The sunk cost fallacy occurs when we continue investing time, money, or effort into something because of the resources we've already committed, rather than cutting our losses. This often leads to continuing with poor investments, relationships, or projects simply because we don't want to admit that the time and effort spent were wasted, even though it would be more beneficial to move on. These psychological factors show how decision-making is influenced by more than just rational thought. Emotional impulses, cognitive shortcuts, and social pressures all play a role in the decisions we make, often without us realizing it. Being aware of these psychological influences can help us make better, more informed choices and avoid common pitfalls.